Okay, to recap now, we're have hit this button. I'm going to import the QB customers into your app. You can see that it makes this entry. You can also look at, I got this. Makes this entry into the queue. Hasn't been run yet. Got some weirdness going on here a little bit. I'll explain that. It'll make more sense, but it's kind of specific to what I'm doing here. And basically I'm using I'm recording this in these query params as sort of an ad hoc way to make queries. And I mentioned in the previous video, I use the two QB XML gem to generate XML, and that might be confusing as we go through, but just know I'm just making hashes here into QB You might just want to make your QB straight out and not use a library. Remember, through the videos I'm going to advocate in the training is that you're not using a library. You're not having some of that abstraction. You're kind of baking stuff in a clean way right into your app, but you're not. But you want to understand everything. So this is another level of abstraction. Again, don't want to confuse you, but I got to go over that. Also, I'm going to run it in a sec. So I'm going to run this in a second. Oops. Oh, we're getting a password here. Oh, it looks like it lost its password. Okay, well, this is a good time to go over this because I didn't go over that last time, what happens here. And what's happening too nowadays with the QuickBooks Web Connector, it doesn't ask you anymore for username. It used to. So now it's only just password, I think. So I think that's a little different. But anyway, remember in your app, you're going to have a key for each account. And I would just do it at the account level. Remember, don't do it at the user level. If you have a multi-tenant app, do it at the account level. Make a key up, and don't use somebody's user password. Again, just do it something like this. Generate a big password like this for them, and we're gonna stick that here. I think this, hopefully, yeah. I was just wondering if this is going to cut and paste from into VirtualBox, and it does do that. Okay, you want to save that password, and you're going to have instructions to the user too on this onboarding phase. I always have a bunch of screenshots like, hey, you do this, go over here, grab the password, come in, say save, and it's going to be on auto run automatically for them. So, okay, so before I do that, got some logging over here. So here's the two requests that are going to be going on here. So what I've set up is an Iterator request. And what that means is when we get these customers, we're going to only return 10 at a time. And let me look at the customer center here. There's a good amount here. If you're curious here, these are sub-customers under a customer. You'll see a little more about that. We don't want to, in some cases you may not even have sub-customers. I think a lot of cases you may not even have. You maybe want to exclude them, but whatever. We're going to grab 10 of these at a time. And I don't know, looks like there's 40 or something here. And that's what this means. And that's going to be in the XML. So we're going to see the XML, how it works, how the iterator works, because it's going to get 10. Then it's going to go back, and then you need to modify your iterator here. And I'll explain all that as well. So it's important that you, in your library, on your send request action and your receive response action, remember these bounce back and forth. If there's still work to do, you return a 99 here. You return 99, here. You go back to send request. And that's how these iterators are going to work. There's still work to do, still work to do, still work to do. Oh, no more work to do. Nothing else in the queue either. And then you can exit out. So make sure you put some logging in here. So when I have a job, I'm making the XML, in a fancy way. I showed you that in the last video. This is just straight XML though, and you would gonna just return XML here. Log it so you can see it in your log. Your log is gonna be a lot better than I do the logging over here. Remember this? This is the QB SDK log, and it's just not as good as your own logging. And especially in production, when you get the first guinea pig customer out there, really the logging is gonna be big. In some cases on a project, I actually make a database table that has the QuickBooks log, so I don't need to go run into any server logs. But very important to log. You're also going to want to log in the receive response right here. Okay, so what it'll send in the web connector will send is a param, and in the param's response is the XML. Okay, so here I'm just putting this little carriage return here because this looks better in your log. Kind of like it'll have the method line and then carriage return and then all your XML lined up to the left.